Welcome to the channel. This is Michael with CopierNerds. If you're with a copier reseller or agency and you need some assistance with analyst support or training, click on the link below or reach us at CopierNerds.com. In this video, we'll be installing and doing a basic setup of the Xerox V4 driver for Windows. First thing we need to do is go into a web browser and search Xerox Smart Start driver. Let's go ahead and choose the link for the Xerox Smart Start printer installer. Scroll down and choose the link for Xerox Smart Start. Once we click the link, it's going to go ahead and download the executable. Before we run the installer, let's go ahead and get the guide. We'll download it and save it for test printing. So now that that's downloaded, let's go ahead and run the exe file. Choose yes. Let's go ahead and hide the browser and adjust our installer here. And choose agree. The installer is now going to look for any printers or copiers that are on the network. In this demonstration, we're going to install the Xerox C7020. If you choose quick install, it's going to go ahead and install the V4 PCL6 driver. If you'd like to install a secondary print driver, or if you wanted to install the PostScript driver instead, go ahead and choose Install Another Device. Choose More Options. From here, you're given all the options you can choose from. So Type 4 and Type 3, also referred to as V4 and V3. Since we already installed the PCL6 driver, let's go ahead and choose PostScript. For most Xerox devices, PostScript is already included with your device, but there are some families of devices that PostScript is an optional accessory. Here I have a VersaLink C7000 series, and it does not automatically include a PostScript kit. So to check to see if you have a PostScript enablement kit installed, go to Device, then go to About, scroll down to the bottom. Under Information Pages, you're going to want to look for PostScript font list. If you see that, you have PostScript enabled and PostScript driver will work with your device. Let's go back and finish up the install. So let's hit install and then choose done. When installed, there's an included app called Xerox Print and Scan Experience. If we choose launch app, the first time we run it, it's going to show us the print drivers that are already installed. If in the future you're trying to install another Xerox copier or a printer, go ahead and click on Add Printer from here, hit Continue, and it's going to take you back to the Xerox Smart Start installer download page so you can get the latest installer. The app introduces a very nice zero configuration scanning solution. Let's go ahead and check it out. What this allows you to do is put a document on your copier, and then within the application, you can choose all of your settings on the left-hand side. Let's do a test scan to folder. So under folder, I can actually say prompt or pick a desktop or whatever folder I want. You can pick your format there in PDF or JPEG. We can go to adjustments. We can remove blank pages if we want to, two-sided, single-sided, color, original size, change the resolution, all of those options right in the application. As soon as we picked it, we hit start. This triggers the copier to start scanning the paper that's on it and sending it right to your computer. For this test, I just scanned a blank piece of paper, but I want to show you on the left-hand side, you can cancel or rescan or even change your mind about that destination. Maybe you don't want to scan to a folder. Maybe you want to send it to an app or copy it to your clipboard, or maybe upload it into Workflow Central. Scrolling down a little further, here we can name the file, we can change it from a PDF, and even see the file size. When it's completed, just choose Finish. Let's go back into Scan, and let's change that destination. Let's scan it to an app. Again, you can make any changes you want, but when you're done, choose Start Scanning. As the file comes up, we hit Share with App. Windows will pop up an application chooser, and you can choose which app you would like to share this scanned document with. In this instance, it would open up the email program and attach the scanned document to an email. In order to keep this basic, I want to go ahead and skip into the printing options that's in the print and scan experience. Let's choose print. Let's go to downloads and find the Smart Start guide that we had downloaded earlier. Here you can see all the pages laid out. We can choose how many copies of this document we want to print out. It really has a lot of the same feature sets that a print driver would have. You'll notice we're taking just like a PDF document. We're not opening up Adobe or any sort of reader program. This print app allows us to take a lot of files and be able to just send them to the printer raw without having to have a particular application installed on the computer. It really gives you a lot of flexibility. Let's move over to Workflow Central. If you have not seen or used Workflow Central, I have something special to show you with this demo. First thing it's doing, it's scanning in a document. So I have a blank document here, so no real data here. But we can upload that to Workflow Central, and the portal comes up. This is the first time, so when you do it the first time, this is exactly what you're going to see. You need to agree to the terms, but then you have the option to convert to audio, convert to Microsoft Office documents, summarize, translate, redact, convert a handwritten note to text. There's really some interesting options going on with this. Let's start by convert to Microsoft Office document. Here we choose English as our original language. We have the ability to change the file name here. We can change it to a Word document, PowerPoint presentation, Excel document. We can add a document password. We can tell it where it's going to go, or we're going to just straight email it. Lots of options built into this workflow. Another workflow I want to touch on is Translate. Translate gives you the ability to take your English or whatever language you have and be able to convert it automatically to any of these other languages that you want to convert your document to. Once you choose Next, you'll see that it has the same look and feel as the Microsoft Office document converter. So Xerox has a very unified look and feel for all of their Workflow Central applications. Let's go back to the final option, which is Device Settings. And the final option we're going to take a look at in the Xerox print and scan experience is the Device Status page. Here we can see how much toner our machine has, how much paper is left in the machine, any warnings, maybe low paper, wrong size paper, any errors you have with your job, as well as a listing of your last printed jobs. That's just a quick go over of the Xerox print and scan experience. Let's get back to configuring our print driver. Let's go to the Start menu. Within the Start menu, let's find Settings. Navigate to Bluetooth and Devices, then Printers and Scanners. Here we can see all the print drivers we have installed. I'm going to choose the PCL6 driver we installed. The printer settings is a printer properties and a printing preferences option. Most people get confused because if you go into both, they look exactly the same. The biggest difference is under printing preferences, these options are temporary. So when you set them, any changes you make will be temporary and will be returned to the printing properties defaults. So let's set the defaults. Let's go to Printer Properties, go to Advanced, go down to Printing Defaults. Now you'll notice that the settings look exactly the same as in Preferences, but these become the defaults. So go ahead and let's change from two-sided printing to one-sided, and let's change color to black and white by default. To disable a banner sheet or a job ID, click on the three dots, go to Document, and under Job Identification, make sure it says Disable Job ID. Backing out by choosing OK just confirms inside the driver that we're saving those defaults. Let's go ahead and do that again with the PostScript driver. If you do not have permissions to do this setting, once you choose printing defaults, you may be required to put in a username and password for an administrator. You will probably need to contact someone to get those credentials. And you see again, one-sided printing, black and white by default. That's what most people are looking for in their defaults. You always have the option to go back and change it to color later. Now that we've gone through how to change your defaults, let's go through some printing options. Let's go ahead and open that Smart Start guide that we downloaded earlier as our test PDF to print. Let's choose Print. We're going to go ahead and pick the C7020 PostScript driver. In terms of options, PostScript and PCL6 drivers are nearly identical except for in the color space, and we're going to take a look at that a little bit later in this video. When you're going to print and you want to know how much toner or how much paper is in the device, you can see that right here in the driver. The first print option I want to show you is how to do a secure print. Let's go up to Job Type and let's choose Secure Print. It's going to ask you for a passcode, And I'm going to put a super secret 1234 in here. So let's go ahead and hit OK. So that's our passcode that the driver is going to send to the device. Now that we've set that option, let's hit OK and then choose print from our program. So let's go over and look at the Xerox device and see what's exactly happening. Let's go to Jobs. So here we can see the document is being processed by the device. Let's go ahead down to Personal and Secure Jobs. Choose our username. Put in our super secret password. In here we have several options. We can print all, we can delete all, we can delete one job at a time by hitting the trash can, or we can select the document and it's going to release the job. Let's go back and try a few more printing options. Let's change Secure Print back to Normal Print. So under the paper option, we can actually choose the color and type of paper that's already loaded in the machine. So the machine knows currently that there's letter, white plain paper, and tabloid white plain paper. You can also print to other size, color, or type. Traditionally, I think people are used to picking the tray, and that option is still here. And like I said, we still have that option to pick by size, to pick by color, and to pick by paper type. Let's go to image options. So to PCL, you only really have the option for black or white and color. But under the PostScript, you have some color correction capabilities. So let's go and take a look at some of those capabilities. We can choose to go in and manually adjust our color saturation, our contrast, our lightness, some of our cyan to red or magenta to green options here. We can go back and forth. You can kind of see on the right-hand side under image option preview what's kind of being tweaked. It just gives you a rough idea of what's going on. We also have a document options tab. Here we can go into the layout. We can change it so, instead of just having one page per sheet, we can have multiple pages per sheet. Here I've chosen 6. So to have 6 pages on one sheet. We also can change our one-sided, two-sided, or two-sided flip on short edge here. We can enable or disable our borders. You can kind of see on the preview pane there where it's removing or adding the borders if you go back and forth between the two. We can also go in and add special pages. So if maybe you have a cover that's already printed from a print shop and you want to import it into your black and white machine and the cover is color, you can put it in an inserter. Lots of features built in there. We have an annotations preview option here, so we can add comments into the print job as it's being printed. If maybe you want it confidential, or here I'm telling it test. We can turn the font, we can angle it, we can put it in different places on the page. We can even adjust the transparency so we can make it darker or lighter. We can even tell it to print in the foreground or print in the background of the document. And then, of course, pages. We can have it print on all pages or just maybe the first page only. So you have those customization tweaks right from the print job. We can also change our font and our color from here. There really is a lot of options you can do with this. The fonts are using the system fonts, so you're not limited to any particular font of just the print driver. It's whatever's on your system. And you can, of course, change the size. We even have the option to add the date and time stamp on here with all the same options that we have if we just wanted to do text. You can also add a photo in here if you wanted to. All the same options, you just go through and find the photo you want and you hit OK. Now let's go back to printing options and let me show you how all the tweaks we just made are all visible in the job summary on the right hand side. We can go down and save this as a preset. We can give it a name. We can even go down through the list and turn on or off features or adjust features right there through the X there. Yep, we can turn it off. We can choose a plus sign and it can actually turn it back on. We can tweak it a little bit. So let's say copies, we can turn them off, turn them on. I could have changed that to 2 so that every time it printed, it print 2 at the same time. Lots of options that you can change there. Hit OK. We saved it. We can go back into the print driver and we can go to One Touch and choose that color corrected name that we just gave it. So it pulled up all those options. And even if we go ahead and close out the print driver and we go back into it again, it's going to save the fact that we used that last. So there's all those options that we changed. So it does save for a period of time in the print driver. So let's change gears a little bit and take a look at a couple other print drivers that are V4 PostScript as well, but they have some extra features because these devices have different features. So this is 7855. You'll notice we have a finishing option feature here because this machine has a LX finisher, an office finisher. So let's go ahead and take a look at how you would set those finishing features. Go ahead and drop that tab down and you can see we have a couple different options here. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and hit 3-hole punch. So this will give us those 3-hole punches, or we can hit staple and have that feature. But we can also do multiple finishings where we can do a 3-hole punch and a staple in the corner so that when you pick the document up from the machine, it'll be stapled and hole punched, ready for you to slip it into a binder. We also have a new image option on this machine, which is color by words. This allows anyone to do a very basic image change or correction. Here we can change the color blue. We can choose how much we want to change it and to what we want to change it to. So let's change blue to orange. And you can see the blue crayon is now completely orange. So it allows us to do that without having to be like, an expert at image quality or image color accuracy. Just let you do it on the fly through the print driver. To see that in a different way, let's choose a different option to preview. So let's take that magenta color. Let's go ahead and change that to green. That's a pretty lime green. So this is just a hint of what color by words can do. It's just something for you to play with. I just wanted to show it off a little bit because it's one of those features I don't think most people know that's there, but has been there for years. I'm saying almost a decade at this point in time. Let's go ahead and take a look at one more device because it has a little bit different finishing features than the previous device had. So this one has a professional finisher. So it has the trifold, it has a booklet fold, booklet staple, and almost every finishing feature an Office device is going to have. So here we can go through and see what options we have. You can pick any one of these on their own, or again, we can choose multiple finishing features. In the Office environment, you get the professional finisher so you can do this booklet creation. Booklet creation allows you to easily do a booklet, folded and stapled booklet, which I think is what most people really are looking for. Most churches are looking for this. This is what takes your document and essentially turns it into that booklet that you can put in somebody's hands. So let's say you've gone ahead, you've printed off your booklet, you like everything you've seen, you did that nice test sheet. Let's go ahead and go to your presets. Let's save as just like we did before. And this time we can save that preset for you so that you don't have to remember how to do this handout or this bulletin or whatever you're working on. You can just go ahead and choose your One Touch preset and you're good to go. So here's us going one more time. We're saving as, we're giving it a name like monthly report. Maybe it's a report that you only do monthly, so you never remember exactly how to do it. You have to kind of play with it every month. Get that all the time. Just go ahead and save. Now we're going to go down to One Touch. And look, there's the monthly report, the church bulletin. There's even the color corrected option that we made with the other print driver. Because it's a V4 driver, all those features can be pulled into any of the devices. That's the basics of a Xerox V4 print driver. I'd like to thank you for spending some time with me and going over the features and functions of a Xerox V4 print driver and how to install it and configure it. And again, this is Michael with CopierNerds. If you're with a copier reseller agency and you need some assistance with analyst support or training, please click the link below or reach us at CopierNerds.com.